as we begin the Bharat Fintech Summit 2025. To kick off this very special session, we are delighted to welcome Shri Manish Bhardwaj, Deputy Director General of UIDAI as our esteemed chief guest. Shri Manish Bhardwaj has been instrumental in the implementation and growth of Aadhaar, one of the world's largest and most successful digital identity initiatives. His expertise and leadership in the digital identity space have significantly contributed to enhancing the inclusion and security of digital services in India. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a huge round of applause as we welcome on stage once again Shri Manish Bhardwaj to deliver his keynote address.
Good morning, everybody. It is my pleasure to be here at the Bharat Fintech Summit, organized by the Digital Fifth. These 2 days of discussion and deliberation with the regulators, policymakers, technology service providers for innovative approaches for the BFSI sector, and with the legal enablements which have been given in our Indian context. So I believe that we definitely will come on to a meaningful discussion to the gathering of the people from diverse sectors. So in this context, I would like to just briefly take you along the role played by UIDAI as the foundational DPI for this country, which has led to the development of the India stack, and what legal enablements UIDAI has further made to propel the growth of the BFSI sector, particularly enabling the onboarding of the private entities. And with the new face authentication tool, which basically allows for authenticating an identity using a mobile phone. So how with this twin enablement from UIDAI will be bolstering the efforts of the BFSI. I would like to just take you through a brief tour of that. So this is the flow. I'll just take 15 to 20 minutes of my the presentation, which will cover the aspects of the authentication being followed in India today, what role the face authentication is playing, and how onboarding of entities in the UIDAI ecosystem is happening. So friends, as you all are aware, we started in 2010. So this is the world's biggest UID program which is successfully running. There is no other similar example to this effect. We have issued the unique biometric identity, digital identity to 141 crore people so far. 14,000 crore authentication transactions have taken till date. We are doing 9 crores, 90 million authentications a day. This is the scale and size of population scale at which UIDAI is working. So it all started when we started 2009, when the UIDAI was set up. The vision was to basically provide a digital identity to each and every Indian. It should have been a verified identity, unique identity. It should be biometric based identity. That was the vision, and through that it was intended to reach out to the millions of people who had no identity documents of their own. How to reach out to them, provide them social welfare benefits of schemes, as well as to bring them in so that the governments of the day, the central government ministries or the state governments are able to reach out to them. In achieving that vision, the fallout was that there was a huge turning in the financial sector. Number of bank accounts rose phenomenally because of the Jan Dhan accounts which opened because of the Aadhaar. The India stack got developed. We had the UPI in 2015, and now we know the whole BFSI story. So this is where it all began. We have currently around 550 plus entities who are part of the Aadhaar ecosystem. Any entity which actually we having issued the Aadhaar, now we allow the facility of authenticating that identity. You can authenticate whether you are dealing with the correct person or not to that. For that, one has to become a requesting entity. So we have around a set of 550 plus entities. We call them requesting entities in our jargon under the Aadhaar Act. So either it can be an AUA or a KUA or a sub-entity to that. And through the network of 20 ASAs, they directly hit the CIDR of the UIDAI, and from there we authenticate the identity. We never share the biometrics, but we authenticate the identity in real time. Any authentication takes place hardly 3 to 4 seconds. So I had already touched upon that. So this is the volume of the this current state of play is that mostly it is fingerprint based. Biometric authentication is the most favored mode of authentication by any entity, and fingerprints is predominantly the largest one as of now. But the face authentication is picking up. We also have other OTP based demographics, but these are not that much preferred. So we rely on we promote biometric authentications to a large extent. So what exactly is authentication? Also, we know that one has to be certified. Having issued the identity, we certify in real time that the person is he who is claiming to be. So this is known as authentication. So there are various modes of authentication. As I had mentioned earlier, it can be multi-factor also. The preferred mode is biometric, which can be fingerprint, iris or face. And as a response, UIDAI gives out a yes/no response or an eKYC response. In eKYC, you have the full information what is there in the Aadhaar card, namely the photograph and the 4 demographic attributes, that's name, gender, date of birth, and address, and along with the Aadhaar number. So this is the flow, like at the touch point wherein say a business correspondent or the authentication operator, at that point the Aadhaar holder or the person who comes, this is all voluntary. So one, suppose an onboarding of a customer is taking place, so the customer will come to your touch point and will give his Aadhaar number as well as one of the biometric, right? And through your the application, it will hit the CIDR, and the response from the UIDAI CIDR will come back to you in 3 to 4 seconds. So these are the various devices. So Aadhaar, that is UIDAI has under the Aadhaar Act has ensured that the Aadhaar product is basically a very safe and secure product. So it is by design, the design attributes are there, the law enablements have been made, and many the empowerment of the Aadhaar holder has been provided. So as you can see that in our CIDR where we store the biometrics, having issued the Aadhaar, we ascertain that it is the biometrically unique is there, and only when the biometrics are uniquely established by UIDAI, then and then only the Aadhaar number is issued, right? And we store the biometrics in our CIDR, that is the Central Identities Data Repository. And in that we are holding the biometrics, and we authenticate any biometric with that stored in our CIDR. We never share our biometrics with anybody. We are not linked, our CIDR is not linked to any other database. So it is only an authentication, is only that which is allowed. So you can safely say that with the design, we have ensured the safety of all the biometrics which we have stored in our database. We capture only the minimal attributes. As I said, any Aadhaar holder, so basically the name, address, gender and date of birth is given. And the biometric, the 10 fingers, 2 iris, 1 face. That is all. And we have the layered security architecture. It's absolutely, we follow the zero trust approach. And the Aadhaar, whenever it is, the Aadhaar number is conveyed to a requesting entity. So every information is given in an encrypted manner. So either at rest or in motion, encryption at every stage is followed. We have a system of AI-based liveness matching, so that you know you're dealing with a live person. In that, so there is the element when we deal with an entity, say a bank or NBFC, when they're dealing with a person, so you have to be, how one is assured that they are dealing with a live person. So that is all is established by the authentication procedure protocol set up by UIDAI. By law, the enablements are that we are purpose blind, we don't store the purpose of authentication. We have limitation in terms of it is absolutely voluntary based for enrollment and for use also. Aadhaar authentication is not compulsory, but it has become the ease and convenience which it is allowing has made it as one of the default. It is in the default mode. We always use Aadhaar for authentication. Uh, Now coming to the relevant sectors, for the BFSI, as you can see, out of the 550 plus entities which are engaged with UIDAI as of now, 230 plus entities in the BFSI are currently dealing with, we are dealing with them. So we have the banks, all the cooperative banks, the PSBs, foreign banks, we have the NBFCs, the mobile payment system aggregators, retail online payment systems, we have the brokerage firms, the KRAs, insurance companies, telecom companies. So all these entities are basically currently using Aadhaar authentication. And with the enablement which has been provided by the government recently, so more entities, say credit rating agencies, centralized KYC agencies, they all can be a part of this ecosystem now. This is a snapshot you see based on the foundational DPI. We had the UPI coming up in 2015. Dilip is here, so we'll speak more on that. But that all has spawned from the foundational DPI which Aadhaar has provided to the India stack. Having given an identity, having opened the bank account, having got the mobile number based on Aadhaar, with the Jam Trinity, the whole new the products have come out. So this is where at the state of play is. So 23.48 lakh crore transaction amounts in the month of January alone through UPI has happened. Aadhaar enabled payment system also, if you can see that 24,000 crores transactions took place in January 25 alone. So we come to the new product of face authentication. Now what exactly is face authentication and how it has made, it has provided for truly anytime, anywhere authentication service. It's absolutely 1:1 match, just like a fingerprint or an iris. Face authentication is that you provide the Aadhaar number and the face scan is taken on any mobile, any entry-level smartphone will do for that. And with that, we authenticate from our CIDR whether the person is that person who is claiming to be. So basically, it is an absolutely in-house based product which has been developed by UIDAI. It is AI based and it is least cost and most adaptable and simple product to use and very secure. So it came out of the COVID, in the backdrop of COVID, when we wanted to provide benefits to the people, but we had that constraint of touchless, how to make it contactless. So then the churning started. And in 2021, we launched our face authentication. The product was developed by our in-house tech center in Bangalore. And today, slowly it has picked up. This modality started gaining currency. We started off with 4 lakh authentications a month, which is very less. Today we are doing at 12 crores a month. The idea is to take it to even 5 to 6 crores a day. So this is where currently 95 entities out of 550 entities are using it. And we are seeing month on month increase in the numbers of entities who are using this modality now, as well as in the terms of the transactions which are happening. So it is absolutely state-of-the-art product provided by UIDAI. It is absolutely anytime, anywhere authentication. Within the confines of the home, one can do the authentication using the customer-facing app. And this Face RD app which we have developed sits behind your customer-facing app. It's a headless app. It can be incorporated with any other app. And it works on both the platforms, Android and the iOS. So currently, 38 banks are using it out of 95 entities as of now. NBFCs are also, e-sign service providers are also using it. And as I said, that this is going to increase now. Many of the entities are in pre-production mode. And we are hopeful that these numbers is bound to increase. So we have touched around 103 crores in a short span. And what was 4 lakhs in 2022 is today at end of Jan 2025 is around 103 crores. In 2024 alone, it was more than 75 crores. We'll see a short movie on this.
Aadhaar's face authentication is transforming the digital identity landscape, seamlessly integrating across industries like banking, finance, insurance, NBFCs, fintech, and telecom. With 95 requesting entities already leveraging this advanced technology, Aadhaar is setting new benchmarks in digital user authentication. In a rapidly transforming India, Aadhaar's next-gen technology is bridging gaps and empowering millions. Powered by cutting-edge artificial intelligence and machine learning, Aadhaar's face authentication is redefining contactless biometrics. It enables effortless identity verification anytime, anywhere, eliminating the need for specialized biometric devices. Available on both Google's Android and Apple's iOS platforms. It's fast, secure, and inclusive. Aadhaar, a catalyst of India's digital economy, enables seamless transactions for fintech businesses. Aadhaar is more than a digital ID. It's a game changer, enabling millions of transactions daily, ensuring transparency, and creating a secure foundation for innovation. Aadhaar is also adding trust to RBI's unified lending interface and enabling the new trinity of JAM UPI ULI to take revolutionary steps towards India's digital infrastructure journey. The ease of living and ease of doing business is fueling India's economic growth and helping India to achieve the status of world's third largest economy status by 2027. Embrace face authentication, the next frontier of digital identity.
So that truly is an anytime, anywhere facility, and it works on any entry-level smartphone on all the platforms. So this is in short about, and it's absolutely safe, secure. It is secure against deepfakes and the replay attacks. So I will not dwell more on that. So we will just. So basically, this is absolutely, that is why it is being used by banks and the mobile companies. So it's completely any non-live, say, replay attack in terms of an SD photograph or a video. This product completely detects that. So it has the liveness, has been is an AI-based model, which is the UIDAI has trained it, and based on which we are doing around 12 crores authentications a month currently. So I'll just go to the next enablement in wherein one can find, how to use it, how this thing can be used by the BFSI sector on a large scale. So this is where I wanted to pitch in. This is Aadhaar authentication for good governance. As we all know that up till now, the central government ministries, the state governments, the departments, the regulated entities like the banks, so from the regulator, one had the license, say the RBI or the SEBI or TRAI, so telecom companies, insurance companies. So only these were allowed the facility to use Aadhaar authentication. But what about the private entities? So Aadhaar Act was not providing them in this current form. So that amendment was conceived, and so we had this facility called, the rules called the Aadhaar Authentication for Good Governance. So under the Social Welfare, Innovation and Knowledge Rules. So that was amended, and on 31st of January 2025, so the enablement is now being extended to private entities who want to use Aadhaar authentication for any innovative ease of service delivery, that is promoting ease of living, preventing leakage of public funds in the interest of good governance. So under that, one can have now private age-gating service providers can come in, private digital locker service providers can come in, e-commerce entities can come in, the credit rating assessment and the bureau agencies can come in, and the KRAs can come in. So this is where the ambit is now fully open. And of course, we will see in the coming months in the travel sector, in the tourism, many use cases will come in which will be using Aadhaar authentication. And with the twin, the modality of the face authentication using the mobile. So using your customer app, facing app, one can actually easily onboard a new customer, perform the KYC, and get the duly Aadhaar authenticated, validated from the UIDAI itself in real time. So this is where the growth is going to happen, and this is where we want the BFSI sector to pitch in. Using the customer-facing app also, we recently in the last month we had an Aadhaar Summit in Mumbai for the financial sector ecosystem partners, and we are trying to basically use the customer-facing app itself to access the Aadhaar database for updation of the mobile numbers or the address also in real time. So that facility also we'd want to piggyback on the customer-facing app of the say the fintech company or the payment service provider or the aggregator app. So this is where suddenly the floodgates open. Though we have the checks and the balances are there, we have so any entity, it is now very easy for anybody to onboard into the Aadhaar ecosystem. And we also have the eKYC Setu product, which is jointly developed by UIDAI and NPCI. NPCI is driving that. So any entity can also use that services to onboard and start using Aadhaar authentication from day one. So this is the process. We shortly this week we are going to launch the portal also for the onboarding of the entities. So up till now, for the good governance part, entities from the central government or the state governments have been using this facility, this route. Now it becomes open for all the private entities. So in the next week itself, this portal is going to be launched, and we are going to entertain, and we're going to accept entities from the private sector who want to use Aadhaar authentication. So currently we have around 205 use cases, but this is going to really increase in many. We are also having that facility that we will be providing customized eKYC. Now, customized eKYC is that, you see, we will be providing you, there are use cases where people require how many times the mobile number has changed in the past 1 year, or the address has changed, or even the other attributes which have changed. So those parameters also can be mentioned as part of the eKYC packet. So this all is in the deliberation at UIDAI, and so we will definitely be providing, even a customized eKYC for that requirement of that entity. So this is all in short from what UIDAI is providing. So UIDAI has been driving as the foundational DPI in the country, the India stack, and the BFSI sector rests very heavily on the use of the entity verification. And with our face authentication and the opening up of the SWIFT rules, I hope that we will see more players from this domain entering into the Aadhaar authentication landscape. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We would like to present him with a token of appreciation. For that, we would like to invite on stage Sameer and Shrikant to kindly do the honors, please. Such a pleasure to have you with us, Shri Manish Bhardwaj.